Cusick with the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Here, wrapping it all up this afternoon, our first trading day of this new trading week on October 5th. You know, the stock market has begun this week on the upside. We have the NASDAQ Composite up on a higher note, up about 1%. Also showing relative strength is the S&P 500 up 0.6%. We also had the Dow Jones up, let's see, is right around 19,217, up 60 points. You also have the Russell 2000 trading at 1340, up 2670. And you had the commodities complex mixed. As a matter of fact, you had gold down about $6.20 after earlier in the session it was up at 1171.60. You also have crude oil coming off its best levels. It was trading about $52 earlier this morning and is trading at $50.97, now down 71 cents. As I had noted, I'm going to watch this crude contract very closely. I don't know if it's going to have the legs. Even though the dollar weakness has been helping with the commodity markets, the U.S. dollar went out today right around 101.60, about $100.16.5, down about 70 cents on the dollar index. Now that's helped other commodity markets like the grains and so forth and some of the other softs, but it's not helping gold and it's not helping crude. The other thing is that we're also looking at the bond yields that are coming across the tape. And as a matter of fact, after Italy has now got the referendum out, no, Prime Minister Renzi out, political instability there. You actually saw right now the Treasury markets in Italy actually come down. I'm taking a look at it right now. The Italian bonds were down about up about 9 basis points. So you saw the bonds were actually, the yields were going up, prices going down. That means that there was some selling there, and the ECB was in earlier last week buying those bonds to give some stability in there. We want to watch that very closely because U.S. Treasuries are also under a little pressure. You see that basically that the U.S. Treasuries, they were up in going into this Europeans into the referendum vote. They actually came down. The 10-year note was flat, came down and was basically trading at around 2.39%. And the 2-year note has started to push its yield up. So you've started to see some selling in the shorter end of the curve as well at 1.12%. So that's where we finished the day in the debt markets. And again, we're going to watch those very closely because now there's going to be a lot of Fed talk. The Fed is going to be meeting next week. As far as raising rates, still the Fed Watch tool that's offered by the CME is basically at 94% that the Fed is going to be raising rates next week. We're going to keep a close eye on this because if we can see the continuation of selling of debt instruments, that could be a positive for equities and across the globe because we're seeing that across both not only U.S. debt, we're also seeing the debt markets in Europe and Asia under some selling pressure, so yields are going up. We're going to keep an eye on that. Now, 5 of the 6 sectors did display some relative strength today. We saw strength in financials again. Finished the day up 1.2%. That was one of the best performing sectors that we see out there. And again, if you see these rising yields, lower prices in the fixed income markets, that's going to be a positive for this financial space. You're also seeing consumer discretionary up 1%. We've seen some impressive same-store sales coming out in this holiday season. You're also seeing purchasing managers indexes across the globe coming in higher than expectations. That means that they're pricing in potential growth going forward. So that's a positive. Now, the underperformance in energies, yes, it is a little bit discouraging, but again, we're going to watch this closely. We have to watch this based on consumption. So watch commitment of traders reports and also watch the Department of Energy reports that are going to be out for the crude contract on Wednesday. We're going to watch those very closely to see how the consumption is going on. Again, the reversal in crude basically coming off of its best levels of 52, and it looks like it's going to settle the day under 51. That is a decline of 1.1%. We're going to watch that very closely along with the dollar still peeling off, even though you have other commodities peeling off as well in spite of the dollar weakness. So we have a lot of action that we're taking a look at, keeping an eye on, and we're going to take a look tomorrow in the overnight session review at 8:30 Eastern Time, where we're going to review everything that's going on in Asia after their close and also on the open in Europe. This is going to give us a better perspective on the trading day tomorrow, as well as setting up for anything that we should be keeping our eyes up on pre-market here in the U.S. So please join me tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time, and then we'll also have the opening bell, What's Hot, at 9:30 Eastern Time. So we'll see you then. Till then, have a wonderful evening, and thank you for watching MarketStream.live. We'll see you soon.